welcome back to the Loading Up Podcast. I'm your host, Producer Jay, and I'm with both of my co-hosts, Brother Zay,
Yo,
and returning, I feel like he's been off for a while, Brother Tay. How you been?
one more time, weather.
He's vibing out, as you can
Yeah.
see.
Welcome
how you guys
back.
been? Well, yes, welcome back.
It's been a long time. A man be working on the weekend.
I know, it's crazy. I don't know how you have any free time.
Free time is for people who have kids.
What? I don't think that's true.
Yeah,
If you have-
I'm
you
going to
have
disagree with
kids.
you on that one.
If you have kids, you need the free time. Therefore, it's for people who have kids.
You know what?
I guess
that makes
what
a
he
lot of
said.
sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say what when you put it that way, I
Yeah.
kind of get it. Oh man,
That makes a lot of sense.
So how you guys been? What games you been playing lately?
I'm doing all right. Actually, we just finished Dead Island 2. We finally finished it. It was good. I liked the ending. It was dope.
How does it compare to the first one? Because I know the first one kind of was like, eh.
Yeah, I didn't honestly, I didn't enjoy the first one, and I didn't really play too much of Riptide, which was sort of like their big expansion. Not really a part 2, but an expansion. But this one I enjoyed. It was cool. And I played it with my friends, Brea and Ron, and we all played together. So we went through the story together.
Oh, that's cool.
And so it was fun.
We suffered all at the same time.
That's a fact. So it was cool. And we finished that and, just waiting for Starfield.
Yeah, pretty much that's what it is right at this point.
Yeah.
Tay, what you been playing?
I decided to go back to one of my cool. Decided to go back to a classic game for myself, and I downloaded 2K.
Which one?
I've been doing just 2K in general. It's just a childhood thing that I used to play when I was just upset with the world, so I can get lost in basketball. So I got the new 2K because it was free. So I'm playing 2K23.
Okay.
Okay. All
I
right.
just let you know every year we go up, the 2K story mode just gets better, and it's so much funny to me how crazy they can make it. I don't know why.
remember there was a video of how very I want to say basic, but like it was really bad how the voice acting was in the original 2Ks and the older 2Ks.
Yep.
And it just made me laugh. Like, why did they think that was a good idea? These guys, they're good. They're great at basketball, but that's their skill. They're not actors or
They do-
voice actors.
I can never tell you why they did this, why they decided to do it. But ever since that decision, I think 2K13 or something like that, where they made a story mode, every year it's just gotten better and wilder.
The twists and the turns. Because I mean, people play 2K for like the basketball, like just like the extra, like the sport of it or whatever. But then like eventually it's like, okay, why do like eventually you're gonna have to do something else. So they gotta do something with that story mode, and I'm glad that they're starting to make it more of an actual story instead of like season mode where you just play a bunch of games.
Yeah, like the original sports stuff where all you do is just like season and franchise. Nah, they've been like, I think one story like you lose, your mom gets mad at you and you lose the house. It's crazy.
Damn.
What the hell?
Your best friend gets killed in a car crash.
Whoa.
I'm
Yeah,
just trying to play basketball.
Right.
You have a whole cutscene. They're like, "Nah, put my homie on the line." It's like, we can't. He did not make it through the car crash. I'm like, oh, we love.
Damn.
Some dude like records you and then puts you online, aka ruining your NBA career. So you got to go overseas to get it back. It's a whole thing.
Oh, nah,
No, they
that's
do
wild.
some crazy stuff like that in 2K. Like even in like the WWE 2K games, like they have it where you can have fantasy matches, but they're like dream sequences. So it's like they tell you, oh, you gotta train, you gotta meditate and pretend you're facing Andre the Giant. And like, and then you face him in your dream.
I'd be tight. I'm not gonna lie
that.
to you. I'd be angry. It's like,
No.
yeah, I just got to imagine I'm facing Andre the Giant. And then he shows up. I'm like, what the fuck is it?
What
No,
the
no,
hell?
no. Nope, I didn't. This is not what I signed up.
Definitely not.
No. So
You been
I've
playing
actually
anything?
yes. I've been like I said last week. Yeah. So I beat Jedi Survivor.
You did say that, yeah.
And I
Oh, you beat a game. I'm so proud of you.
I'm gonna start like literally I'm like so close to 100%ing it. I got almost everything. I'm like on the last few achievements and stuff to collect or whatever.
Very nice.
This
And,
man is now producer Jay, the completionist.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm gonna jump back into Resident Evil 4 actually.
The remake or the
okay.
Yeah, because I stopped playing that because I wanted to save that for the live stream, but it's like I feel like I want to just play it. Like I just need to just play it.
I mean, if anything, you could just record it.
Yeah.
Don't have to be like a live stream. You could just record it.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the next game I want to do because I gotta clear as much as my backlog as possible because once after Starfield comes out, that's it.
You ain't playing
the rest
nothing
of,
else.
rest of my games, so long, sayonara, you're done.
What you
I ain't
playing
mad at
now?
you.
Leave me alone. I gotta. Just more games.
Yeah.
So my favorite. That's one of my favorite things I've seen.
Yeah.
Other than Matt made.
Oh yeah. I'm telling you.
Quinn.
It's really bad. But anyway, we got a lot of news this week. And
do.
the bulk of it is from the FTC Microsoft trial, which is, oh man, I've been listening to that. I listened to that both days so far, and it's been nothing but laughs. I feel like all these stuff that keeps coming out, it's also informative, don't get me wrong, but the attempts by the FTC to try and make a point is
Those were attempts? No,
yeah, apparently those were attempts.
That's crazy.
It's hilarious, but we'll get to that. So
Yeah. We'll start off with some bad Xbox news because it's always bad when they decide to raise the prices. So just like they're following suit with what Sony did with the console prices, they're raising the console prices up on different markets. So they're not raising it in the US, Japan, Brazil, Colombia, but they will be raising it literally everywhere else. The price of the console will go up to $549 in Europe, $649 in Canada, and $800 in Australia. That's insane.
yeah,
And the Series S is not going up in any market. At the same time, they also announced that Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate will be getting a $2 price hike. So Game Pass is $9.99, be going to $10.99, and Ultimate will be from $14.99 to $16.99. I'm not too mad about the Game Pass price hike. I kind of expected it, but the console price hike was just like a slap in the face.
yeah. I mean, granted, it's only for people who haven't gotten Xbox at this point. I mean, it sucks, and I know PlayStation did this months ago, so it's like you can't really you gotta call out Microsoft for doing that as well.
Definitely.
I think though it was kind of the timeline, or not the timeline, the timing is kind of interesting because I think initially Microsoft was saying that the Activision acquisition wasn't going to lead to increases in price.
So they did it before.
So to try,
technically,
I guess
they weren't wrong.
Yeah, I want to say they did that on purpose to try and like side skirt that, be like, listen, we said it wasn't gonna lead to it, so we're gonna do it beforehand, so that way you can't say anything. It still sucks though all around. Like
any price hike, especially in this economy, any price hike it sucks. Somebody was saving up to get that Series X, and then all of a sudden, boom, you got to put in an extra $150. You're like, what?
Yeah, I will say though, this makes the Series S even more appealing to those who are trying to save some money, and you would be definitely getting a good price or a good deal with that, because they just announced the 1 terabyte version, black version,
Yeah.
So it's I definitely feel like if you're not too crazy about like 4K and 60 frames or whatever, just get a Series S. You won't be disappointed.
You
I
won't.
mean, it doesn't matter, right? Most games aren't freaking 60 frames. There's a lot of older games that are hitting 60 frames, but not a lot of new games.
Well, yeah.
And that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
So, our next bit of news is Nintendo had a direct, and it was mostly pretty good. It was pretty good direct.
Yeah.
They announced some really cool stuff, some stuff I'm looking forward to. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'll say what I really loved about the Nintendo Direct. And for me, it was definitely Mario Wonders, Super Mario Wonders.
Oh yes, that looked crazy.
It looked great. I was like, oh my god, a new 2D, side-scrolling Mario with its wacky self. We had Mario changing into a whole elephant. It was yes, but it was it was interesting to see all these announcements. So that was my absolute favorite because I saw the snippet of gameplay, and what intrigued me was the Peach game that they sort of teased. I was like, oh, finally Peach gets her own game where she's not just kidnapped.
Yeah, they had a lot of announcements on that.
Peach is getting a game, but they can't give my boy Waluigi one. I'm getting sick of it.
I know, right?
Well, that's
where's my WAN?
Where's my WAN?
Well, WarioWare is coming to the Switch, and that's always cool. I love those games.
I don't think Waluigi's in that game though.
No,
Motherfucker.
no.
You see, Wario got another game coming.
Yes, he did.
They're just trading. This is the Luigi treatment, but at least Luigi got one.
Yeah, no,
Luigi should also have more than one. Also.
Yes, he has 3. What are you talking about?
It's the same series.
Hey, it's more than Waluigi.
Yeah.
So no, but they announced a lot of games there. What really intrigued me was the Mario RPG remake. That I've heard so much about that game, but like what kept me from playing it is always because it was such an old game, and I don't know about you, but like if I never played an old game, I don't have that nostalgia for it. So if I go back and play it, I'm gonna be like, it's an old game. Like it's one of those things where you had to have played it as a kid in order for you to enjoy it.
It's true, because I had zero interest with that.
Yeah, and I was always like, whatever. It is what it is. But now that they're remaking it, it looks really cool, and I want to try it now. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, they're bringing all the Pikmin games into the Switch, which is actually pretty cool. And they're remake. I don't know if it's a remake or remaster of Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon.
Oh yeah,
to the Switch. So now, well, not all of them, but 2 of them are on the Switch now. And they announced the Metal Gear Solid collection, which that was actually, even though like it wasn't because it was on Nintendo that got me hyped. It was the fact that it was coming to other consoles, and the fact that it's more of a package than we initially thought. Like it's coming with a whole bunch of other stuff. They're coming out with the unofficial sequel, Snake's Revenge, which was a sequel that Konami did without Hideo Kojima, and that was like kind of like bastardized. Like that was not the official thing until he came back and made a regular sequel. But now they're re-releasing it. They bring it in this package, and there's a lot of shit in there. And in interesting, although it didn't come out in the Direct itself, there was a lot of stuff on the website of the Metal Gear Solid where they show like the timeline of events or whatever, and they have like, you can click on each timeline. They have one for Metal Gear Solid 4, which is not clickable yet, but they dug into it and said that it's like a placeholder right now. And they're saying that Metal Gear Solid 4 might be in like the volume 2 of the game, that would be crazy, because Metal Gear Solid 4 has not been on anything other than a PS3 since forever. So that would be insane.
I mean, I would get it on Xbox, not.
I mean, yes,
Switch.
I would get it on Xbox, but the fact that it's gonna be, hopefully, it's gonna be on other systems is crazy. I know I kind of went on this little sidetrack, but the Nintendo Direct was actually really good. And yeah, Super Mario, it's a Wonder.
Yeah, Wonder.
It's I didn't think they could actually change the style of like the Super Mario Brothers like side-scrolling 2D, but they did it. They actually made it look very different than what the other ones were, and it's an improvement enough that it's like, okay, I'm interested. You caught my attention.
So, in particular with the Nintendo Direct, it just made me feel like, because they didn't announce any new system. It's been 7 years. We're wondering, is this the tail end of the Switch? What's next? You know, because they're still announcing all these games for, you know, the Switch, and it's like, okay, you know, you got Detective Pikachu Returns and Pikmin 4.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
you know, we have Wonder coming out. You know, so it's like, okay, what about the next Switch? Where are we? Where are we at in the Nintendo timeline? You know,
I think it's a safe bet that we will get a Switch or whatever the next console is announcement next year, because I think, or maybe possibly we might get one later on this year
for holiday time.
Because I think when they announced, I remember when they announced the Switch initially, it was codenamed like the NX or whatever, and just randomly, like I think it was like September or October, just a random Thursday. I remember because it was also the day that Red Dead 2 got announced.
Yeah.
And that it was like a whole crazy like firestorm between those two. And it was just a random Thursday that they announced the Switch, that it was coming out in the spring of next year.
Yeah.
And that was another thing too, that a lot of all these games were announced that they're coming out this year. Except for I think the Peach one.
The Peach one wasn't.
Yeah, no, that one because it was just like a teaser. But
now I gotta wait.
Everything else is
bullshit. Fucking tired of this life.
Everything else is coming out this year, so it's like it's refreshing to see games that are just like, here's the announcement and it's coming out later. So like, it's not like this. Oh, you gotta wait 2, 3 years, 4 years for.
Yeah, well, Nintendo's been quiet for a long time.
Exactly.
This is the first Direct in a while, so it is nice to see that they are coming out this year. Especially Wonder. I already pre-ordered it. Like, it's already pre-ordered.
Well, damn. You waste no time.
Yeah, I really loved it. Like, I was looking, I was like, man, I'm going to actually pick up my Switch again. You know? So...
That's crazy.
Well, I've been playing my Switch this whole time. I play Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean...
You've been playing Pokemon. That's the problem. Pokemon never ends.
That's true.
So, but let's say, what did you enjoy or like from the Nintendo Direct?
Honestly, I'm just gonna be honest. I love the new Mario game with the whole new style and the new 2D wheel. I was like, yo, this looks fantastically special.
It looked trippy as hell.
It did.
That's all I care for. I was like, yo, this. Honestly, it looks like a great. If they were gonna it looks like a remake of like Super Mario 2, the American version.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's actually, I saw a lot of people pointing that out too, that it feels more like that game.
Man, yeah, it feels more like, why are we calling it that game?
That game. I don't know.
Look, whatever issues more they had, whatever, it's called Super Mario Brothers 2. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, I mean,
the real sequels was the Lost Levels, but we don't talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely looks good. I mean, it looks like they were just absolutely high on mushrooms on making this game, and I want to play it.
Yeah, and that the shitty thing about this whole thing though is that it's coming out in October, and there's already so many friggin' games coming out in October.
I know.
And I'm not like, oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's like Nintendo's big balls move.
Yeah, they be like, move out the way, everybody.
Because they're going. Everyone's like, oh, this game's coming out. This game coming out, but it's gonna be like, yeah, but there's a new Mario game coming out in October,
right? It's like Spider-Man who.
And watch that shit top all the charts too.
It's probably gonna.
I mean, of course, they sold how many consoles?
But yeah, they have more.
Oh, it's actually coming out the same exact day as Spider-Man 2.
Yo, see, I told you this is.
I just looked it up.
I'm sick of y'all.
Yeah, it's gonna be Spider-Man versus Mario.
I know what I'm buying. Let me stop.
No, I got it. Man,
you don't gotta lie. Look, you don't gotta lie. I know what you're gonna get.
No, I'm gonna get both because my son's
I
gonna
know
play.
you are.
My son's gonna play the Spider-Man 2 because he's super excited about it. You know, I'm excited
And you're
about
gonna
it
play
too.
Mario.
And I'm gonna play Mario, and we're gonna do the whole switcheroo. You know.
Yeah, once you're done.
Once I'm done here, play Mario. I'm playing Spider-Man. There we go.
It's like that.
It'd be like
But yeah,
that
no,
for sure.
it's gonna be interesting this
Definitely.
October. But no, the direct was good. It was very refreshing. I would say of all the summer showcases, it was probably number 2 compared to Xbox.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was definitely good. I gave it I'll give it a 7.5 simply because I didn't like a lot of the other stuff that they announced. The WarioWare, the Wonders was pretty much my only really good games I would like to play.
Yeah, no, it'll be like I said, it's one of those. It's been a while since Nintendo did anything like that, so I'm glad they came out swinging, and hopefully like I said, they might have a surprise later on this year for next year about the next Switch or the next console or whatever.
Probably.
Yeah,
It's long overdue.
for sure.
Nintendo's one of those. Every time Nintendo's like console things are very funny.
Yeah, they just come out of left field. Like they don't. The
Also,
next one will be like freaking VR goggles.
Have you noticed that like Nintendo's cartridge, like they just have a weird pattern? Because like remember 64 came out, and it was a high seller, and then like the GameCube was good, but people didn't buy it as much, and then the Wii was a high seller, and the Wii U
And
wasn't
the Wii U,
as good.
Yeah, they
Then
just
the
have
Switch
like
is a high seller.
mountains, like ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys, whatever you want to call it.
Maybe they are the true stock market.
No, so
of
you're
video
saying their next
games.
console is gonna crash?
If it keeps going like that, maybe
That's
that's why they took
true.
the break. They're
Maybe.
Like, we've been playing too much stuff out lately.
No, I think they have to just iterate on the Switch. Like they can't make it too drastically different, because then that defeats the whole purpose of what they're trying to do with like the what is it called, that service where you can play old games.
Oh,
Nintendo Switch
Super...
Online. Is that what it's called? Is there like
no? There's also like they have emulators where like they have like Super Nintendo system emulators. Where, like, you can just like go into that and just get games. So it could just be the emulators. I don't know. What
honestly,
name
I
is.
think it's just gonna be the Switch Pro. Like you'll be able to play everything you can on the Switch, and then like eventually it'll
Better
just
graphics.
be Switch Pro games or
I
whatever.
mean, they can do a Switch 2 where it's all OLED with the OLED screen, a better chip, you know, so it can actually run
storage.
games. More storage.
It's gonna be a Steam Deck just with Nintendo's stuff in it.
So you wanted something, right?
Like, here you go. Shut up.
And everybody's gonna buy it.
Exactly.
Shut up, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Yes, Dad."
Well, anyway.
Why is he so angry? I don't know.
So the next bit of news before we get to some the FTC trial, it was the Final Fantasy 16. It just released. I think it was just past weekend. I think it was Friday. It was released, and
Final Fantasy.
people are having overheating issues. So the new it's not a secret. The new version of the PS5 has seen a smaller heatsink, and they're contributing the graphics, the performance mode, to with the smaller heatsink is overheating people's PS5s. It's not just like one or two. I've been reading through Reddit and Twitter. It's a significant amount of PS5s having overheating issues while playing Final Fantasy 16. And
Yeah.
people were really upset because they were like, well, I was just playing Diablo yesterday for like 5 hours and nothing happened to my PS5, but you get on Final Fantasy and it starts talking about overheating issues.
Yeah, I think it could be a software issue, honestly, because I feel
It
like
could be.
if it's just one game, then I don't think that's the problem with the PS5. Although I remember when they announced, well, they didn't announce it, but like when it came out that they were making a different version of the PS5 with a smaller heatsink, that people were not complaining, but they were speculating that it could lead to possibly like higher temperatures than the original PS5, because I think the original PS5, like, it had a lot of like like bulky parts, whereas this one is like more slimmer, and I think it uses a different material.
It does.
So
they broke it down. Austin Evans on YouTube broke it down, and he had both the different consoles, and you can see the difference. It was a significant difference in the heatsink size, and he even predicted then, is like, well, we know this one runs a little bit hotter because they ran a test. So he was like, well, I hope this doesn't mean that in the future games will start having an issue with the heat because of the smaller heatsink. And it begs to differ. Was he right?
Yeah.
Did he say exactly what's happening right now with Final Fantasy 16?
I don't know. Well, like I said, if it's just one game, then that leads me to believe not. It's probably just something with the game itself that it's like overclocking the CPU and making the heatsink work extra hard. I think that was something that the original PS5 could handle, but not the newer one or the most recent version.
Yeah, the different version, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it's just something that maybe disabled performance mode. I don't know what it is, but
yeah, they definitely said that you can disable performance mode, put it in a quality mode, and also clean your PS5.
That's why people don't like the quality.
Yeah. You can take off the plates, so your PlayStation 5, and clean out the fan and stuff, so that way it can reduce.
Also, what I would suggest, which I'm gonna do it once I find a reason to play my PS5 more often.
Wow. Phrase October.
I'm gonna get October. I'm gonna get the D brand PS5 plates because they have a built-in like mesh that makes it easier for the air to flow. Whereas with the regular PS5, it has one. So the D brand one has one like on the plate itself. Whereas with the PS5, it's just the plate, and then all the air just goes out in the top and the front. Whereas with this one, it'll go out through the side as well, so it allows for more air dissipation. So, if you're having overheating issues, I know it sucks that you have to buy a product to make it work properly, but it wouldn't be bad to do that if you are having those issues. The only thing is, like, it's like $80 to mess with them.
Yeah, so we're spending over $650 just because.
It's okay. PlayStation fans love spending money. Haven't you heard?
No.
Damn. Damn. All right, let's move off from this before we get some more console war stuff.
always get us in trouble.
Yeah, I know.
No need.
So we'll jump into some FTC news. Because it's a lot of stuff happened during the trial. We're gonna go into a little bit about what was said and what came out of the trial. You know, some evidence that came out of the trial that was interesting, funny, and just downright silly. So we'll get a little bit to something that Sony was accused of. They're accusing, or not really accused of. They had told Activision if the deal goes through, they will withhold information for PS6 from them, so they cannot produce Call of Duty as effectively on the PS6.
Yeah, they were basically saying that they would have to, like, they would be forced to do it when they wouldn't. They're just saying that because they're trying to seem like the victim.
Yeah, it's so silly though. That also affects their own gamers. Like.
That's exactly. That's like
that doesn't affect anything besides your gamers.
Yeah, I get partially about like them not wanting to give away information regarding like the PS6 or whatever, but it's like also you're getting information about Xbox's consoles because you are making games for the Xbox with MLB The Show, and now with Bungie games with Marathon. So like you're going to have that information as well. So it's like why are you caring about what Microsoft knows and what they don't? Because you also have that information from them.
Yeah.
Because it's a brat thing. I want to know it. Only me. I don't want him to know it.
Yeah. Rules for thee, but not for me.
Exactly. Yeah. I made this field. I didn't make it to be fair. The fuck?
Yeah, no, it's hypocrisy, honestly.
It really is. A lot of things came out and just made you want to slap your forehead and like, oh my
this
God.
whole trial was just me face palming the whole time.
Exactly.
What you mean?
There's a lot of nonsense coming from the FTC side, because if you've heard, I don't know if anybody who actually listened to the trial, you're hearing these questions from the FTC lawyers. It's like, did you do an ounce of research? Did
No.
you look up anything? It's like they're taking talking points directly from the CMAs and Sony and just putting it into question forms.
Yeah.
This man just asked me to do research? How dare you?
No, you know what? Right? Because so they had, well, since the deal was announced, they had like 18 months to prepare this statement. But even if you want to say, they're busy with other stuff or whatever the case may be, they announced this sue to block in December. So they had 6 months to prepare their argument for why this needs to be blocked. And they did nothing, because they literally were just echoing from the CMA stuff to PlayStation stuff that has already been addressed. And it's like, whenever you're in school, they give you a project and say, oh, it's due this date. And then that's like 3 months away. It's like, I got time. Don't worry. I'll do it eventually. And then it's like the day before, and it's like, oh, I got to do it. That's what it feels like. It felt like they prepared yesterday, or what was it? It started Thursday. They prepared Wednesday what they were going to say, because they did not say anything new, and they were trying to rely on gotcha moments which completely fell flat on its face.
Yeah, I mean, FTC called the former head of Google Stadia as their witness, and it absolutely did nothing for the FTC case.
Zero.
As a matter of fact, they proved something that Microsoft's been telling everybody all along about cloud gaming. That
it's not a nascent market. That
exactly.
It's competing with other platforms, including consoles.
Including the consoles.
You gotta it's not like its own market. It's included in everything.
Yeah. So that just completely, I was laughing the whole time.
And basically he also proved that cloud gaming is hard. It's hard to keep up, it's hard to maintain, and it's not something that you can really have an advantage of this early on in the game. So I don't know what they were expecting with this. I thought because I was listening to it both days, when they brought up, I even mentioned in the chat, I was like, why are they asking these basic questions? Or you were asking, why are they asking these basic questions? I'm like, this is is weird, because I thought, if anything, they were going to try to prove that the Microsoft's Bethesda acquisition is what in part led to Stadia closing. Because that was said. That was said in like an interview or something like that. Google said that's what partially led to them closing down. They didn't even touch that.
Yeah, but that wasn't because they brought them. That was just because they couldn't get more content on.
I know
on Google Stadia.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like
they could have spun it, and they did.
Yeah, that exactly. It's like, I thought that's where they were going. They were saying, because they were leading into the whole like content. Like, we can't provide content. But then they never brought up Bethesda. Maybe it's because they didn't have time, or whatever the case may be. But they just never brought it up, and it was so weird that they just. That witness was literally pointless.
It was pointless, and it got to the point the judge was just like, again, you're asking these questions again.
Yeah.
All right, we get it. We get the point. They the judge cut the FTC off several times throughout multiple days. Just like get on with it. Like,
yeah,
we get it. You could tell she was frustrated.
Yeah, she was frustrated. There was a point where the FTC lawyer was trying to get Phil Spencer to commit to bringing Activision games to, like, not just Call of Duty, to all Activision games. And Phil's like, Activision makes games for all kinds of platforms. They make some just for PC, some for just mobile. So it's like, I can't promise that I'll bring all of them to PlayStation. And then he was trying to say, absent of looking at a deal, would you promise that you're bringing them to PlayStation. It's like there's no way that I could do that without looking at a deal. And then even the judge was like, well, yeah, they're not gonna give them games for $0. That's implied. Like, yes, they're saying they're gonna do it. Obviously, there's gonna have to be talks of a deal. They're not gonna just do it for free. So even the judge was seeing like, okay, this is ridiculous. And then what got me, and I think somebody said that there was an audible oof when this happened. The FTC literally like last minute was trying to ask a question because Phil Spencer had promised to bring Call of Duty and Diablo to PlayStation 5 and future PlayStation consoles. And he said, well, can you confirm and promise that you can bring it to PlayStation's cloud service? And the judge was just like, I don't need that. I'm cutting you off. It's like literally just shut that down. It's like, enough already. And everybody was just like, oh man, what was he doing?
Yeah. I mean, they even got into like, so like just the next bit of news, FTC was arguing, about Xbox exclusive content and why it's not on PlayStation. And it just goes to show you that these people have absolutely zero knowledge of the business, of anything when it comes to games and the games markets. They have no clue. Xbox have their own exclusives. PlayStation has theirs. Nintendo has their exclusives. Everybody has their own set of exclusives. Even Amazon has their exclusives, for crying out loud. That's just the nature of the business. So like Phil Spencer had to sit there and explain to both the judges and the lawyers how the business functions with exclusives.
Yeah, it was sad that freaking Phil Spencer, he even joked that he said, I'm not even like I'm not like an accountant or anything. That's like, he said one of his like his accountants taught him that. And it's just the fact that like of all people, you have him teaching you how business works and how these acquisitions work. It's like he was trying to say that they spent, quote unquote, $70 billion, and he was just like, no, you don't spend it. It's not a transaction that you just buy for goods. Like, no, it's like a house. Like you buy it, and in exchange you're getting like an asset in equity in something that you hope grows with you. So it's like it's not like making a purchase at a store like they were trying to and then the FTC lawyer was just trying to say, oh, it's a write off. Like, no, it's not.
No. The judge just said, all right, can we move on from this? Like, because even she realizes she's
like, we get your point.
Yeah, she doesn't know much about the game industry either. She had some questions, but at least they were legitimate questions. Whereas the FC lawyers are just trying to catch them, like in a sort of gotcha moment.
Yeah,
but none of it actually worked. But that's to both Sarah Bond when she was on the stand and to Phil Spencer. None of it worked.
Yeah,
it completely shut them down.
Honestly, the only time that I thought where the FTC kind of had a leg up was right at the beginning on the first day when they were questioning Matt Booty. They were talking about that email from 2009 or 2019 where he basically was saying like, no effing way. That's what the quote was, that they would put their games on other services. But the context of that, though, was that it was in response to NVIDIA, who, when they announced or when they launched GeForce Now, that they were putting games on the service without asking for permission. Like, literally, they were just putting games, Bethesda games, Xbox games, they were just putting on the service. If you owned it, you could play it. They didn't ask nobody for permission to put them games on there. And rightfully so, Xbox, or at least Matt Booty, was pissed about it. They pulled all their games and they were just like, no, we're not putting those games on there. That's why, that was the whole context of that email. And it's like, when you get that context, it makes the most sense of all. Like, obviously, if somebody's, quote unquote, I wouldn't say stealing, but if they're putting your games on their service without your permission, obviously you're going to be a little bit pissed off about that, and it's going to affect the business going forward. You're not going to want to do business with them if they're going to act like that. Yeah. Obviously things change because now they got the games on there, but that was because they made a deal. So it was just like I was very interested in that aspect, and the fact that they didn't give any context to it when it came out afterwards. I was like, yo, what is the FTC trying to do?
Yeah, I mean, the whole first day or the first couple days before Phil Spencer gave his testimony on Friday, it was basically them trying to say, "Oh, you brought ZeniMax, and then made their games exclusive, so you're gonna do the same thing with Activision."
Yeah,
But it wasn't necessarily the case why they brought ZeniMax. They did that because PlayStation was making deals with Bethesda to make their games exclusive for a year or however long. Because we saw it with Deathloop, we saw it with Ghostwire, and rumors that came out that they was going to do it again for Starfield. Starfield was going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, at least for a year or a year and 6 months, like Ghostwire Tokyo was. And Xbox saw that and said, we have to buy ZeniMax if we want to stay competitive and make those games come to Xbox, because they couldn't afford losing Starfield. In third place, like Phil Spencer said, we're in third place. We can't afford to not have more content on our systems and for our customers. So we decided to compete, and their way of competing was buying the whole company.
How dare you compete? Just die like I want you to.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Sony wants. Sony wants to stay the market leader. So their job is to, make it as hard as possible for games to go anywhere else.
Exactly, and it's not a secret that they've been doing this for this whole entire since last generation, even going into the PS3 era, where they were just paying for exclusive content, whether it be in-game purchases or even whole year exclusives or even indefinite exclusives, like Final Fantasy,
like Spider-Man.
Well, Spider-Man is published by Sony, but that was a separate thing though. But it just continues the fact that Sony is trying to get exclusive content, but their means of doing it is through side deals, because they know that a gamer's attention span, the amount of people who wait to play games is very small. Like, there's a lot of people who literally just played the latest game, and that's it. If it's like 2 or 3 months after, they don't care. So they know that a lot of their fan base is like that. And once a game comes out that is initially an exclusive for PlayStation, they know those people are gonna play those games. And a lot of the other people who would be on other platforms, they're not going to care a year from now to play those games. Like, yeah, maybe a few, but the amount of people who are gonna buy those games on another platform a year later is going to be minuscule compared to the people who would buy it when it comes out first. So they know that they can do those exclusive deals, those timed exclusive deals. But the same won't necessarily work for Xbox, which is why they're trying to be like, no, we need to own this content to prevent it from going elsewhere. And that doesn't mean that every game is going to be on Xbox only or Xbox and PC only. Obviously, there's going to be some games that are going to come to PlayStation, like Minecraft. Like they had a whole freaking conversation about that.
Yes.
And they were also, the FTC was trying to pull another gotcha, saying that, oh, well, you initially had talks because there was emails saying that they wanted to make Minecraft Dungeons and Legends exclusive to Xbox. And then Phil Spencer was just like, but that's not what happened. And then they kept trying to reiterate, it's like, but in the email it said that you had intentions of doing that, but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, it doesn't matter what the email said.
It's a contract discussion. It's something you can put on the table. That's just what we do. That's what people do.
Eventually, that conversation is going to come up. It doesn't matter if, hey, maybe we might want to do this or that. The only thing that matters is what happened. And what happened was it came out on PlayStation. That's it.
Yeah.
So, like, that's I don't know. It just makes me laugh that the FTC is trying that.
They tried, even with Minecraft itself, again, they tried to do another gotcha moment. It's like, oh, but PlayStation 5 doesn't have a PS5 edition of Minecraft. And then Phil Spencer was like, well, we never got the dev kit.
Yes.
We can't make a game version for a console with no dev kit. And then he had to explain to the judge and the lawyers what a dev kit was. They didn't even know. And rightfully so, it's not their business. They don't have to know about these things, but don't accuse Xbox of withholding content when they don't even have the dev kit because PlayStation didn't want to give them the dev kit. Meanwhile, Xbox is like, here, take the dev kit. They gave it to, who was it that makes MLB?
The
EA.
San Diego, Sony San Diego, I think.
Well, those are.
Yeah. They gave the dev kit to them to make MLB The Show on Xbox, on the series consoles.
Yeah, they even had a press release saying like, "Oh, we sent out dev kits to get it out so that way they can have a Series X and S version when it launched."
Exactly. So Xbox is in good faith giving them their dev kit so they can develop games for Xbox. But Sony PlayStation is like, no, you're not getting it. And then they wonder why they don't have, an updated version of Minecraft or anything for the Xbox. It's because they can't make it without the dev kit.
Yeah,
it just didn't make any sense.
Yeah. So another thing that came out of this, which I thought was actually very interesting, which Brother Zay told us not to discuss in the chat, and save it for the podcast, which was that Indiana Jones is officially an exclusive for Xbox.
And I say that I always thought it was gonna be exclusive.
So I say that it was never officially confirmed. It was hinted at. It was implied because it's made by Machine Games, and literally they announced it after the acquisition. So you would assume that it would be an exclusive. At the very least, it would be coming to Game Pass day one.
I knew.
You didn't know.
I knew it.
No, you did.
You know how I knew? I knew because we didn't hear a peep about anything about this game from any PlayStation showcase, any PlayStation centric media, nothing. It was just zero. So anything, zero, nothing from Indiana Jones from the PlayStation side of the business. I heard zero.
Well, okay. So to be fair, it was revealed that it was initially going to be multi-platform.
No. It was revealed that it was for multiple consoles. That doesn't necessarily mean it's multi-platform.
And
multiple consoles could
that
mean.
Means.
Yes, yeah. They said they didn't say multi-plat. They said multiple consoles, right? So that could mean just Series S, Series X, PC.
No,
It doesn't necessarily mean PS5.
You're being very generous with that. The interpretation.
No. You're thinking it's multi-plat. I don't think it's multi-plat because they never said multi-plat. But I think it did come out that it is exclusive officially in the trial. That is what the big major news was, that it was going to be exclusive. But also at the same time, it wasn't supposed to be, they said. And they had to rework the deal with Disney after the acquisition.
Yeah. So
and that was like the big deal.
Yeah, the FTC was trying to use this against them, and Phil Spencer, he addressed it and basically said that this was kind of like I don't remember the exact words he used, but he basically said it was kind of like an opportunity to have something that rivals Spider-Man on PlayStation.
Exactly.
So they said that they wanted to have a strong third-party brand on Xbox that would be exclusive to rival PlayStation and Spider-Man. So, and I think they had to, like you said, they had to rework the deal with Disney, and they basically had to calm Disney's, I guess, they just basically had to talk Disney into it because they have expectation. I think also P. Hines, because he also was a witness on the first day, and he was talking about how there's a lot of pressure to making games for multiple platforms, and especially when they partner with third parties like Disney, they expect a certain timetable when it comes to these games, and I don't think they would have let Bethesda go, like they wouldn't let them take their time pretty much, and they would have had to stretch themselves thin in order to get these games out. or get the game out on all the consoles that Disney they originally agreed upon. But now that Microsoft owns Bethesda, it allows Bethesda to make a much more like focused and streamlined game where they can focus on making the game the absolute best it can, because that was also the reason why they said Starfield was exclusive as well. Obviously, there was also other like motives behind it to get Starfield exclusive, but it does make sense that if you limit the amount of console or the amount of platforms that a game is on, that's more time that can be spent making for that platform instead of multiple platforms. You don't have to say, oh, like, oh, okay, it runs on this, okay, let's get it working on this now. Like, no, you can get it working and then you have it on everything instead of the other way around. So,
and they mentioned that if Starfield was coming out multi-platform, it wouldn't be coming out this September. It would have to be another big delay. Yeah, which is you know, it's kind of crazy, but you know, it's true. These games take a lot to develop. They take a long time. They have to also test them. You know, and that means that if they have 100 playtesters to find all these bugs and stuff, 50 of them are going to have to play the Xbox version, and 50 of them are going to have to play the PlayStation version, and then they have to go back and forth and split their devs between them to figure out what's wrong and see how they can fix it. Whereas if it's, like you said, if it's just focused onto one platform, they can work efficiently to make it the best version of it.
Yeah. And it's just, this whole thing has been like just a constant battle of like the FTC trying something and it not working, and then basically the Microsoft or whoever's on the stand just kind of like killing everything. And it's just, I still can't get over how they tried to get another gotcha with saying that Phil Spencer, or asking Phil Spencer if he's willing to promise to bring the games to PlayStation, to bring Call of Duty to PlayStation. He basically said in no uncertain terms that, yes, I will bring games to PlayStation. And then there was even like, he had to address it multiple times because people, I guess it was funny because he said, I'll bring the games to PlayStation 5. And then they went to like a lunch break. And I think he was like on Twitter in that break, where, because I saw a bunch of people talking about what he said and stuff like that. And then they came back and he had to reiterate and says, just in case anybody thinks I'm trying to play a game or anything like that, like I meant like PlayStation 5 and future PlayStation consoles. Obviously, I don't know what they're working on. I don't own the PlayStation, so I can't 100% promise. But from Microsoft's end, I will promise to make Call of Duty available on future PlayStation consoles for the next 10 years or whatever. It's just, and it just got the FTC lawyer stammering, like he didn't know what to say. He's like, I really wasn't expecting you to say this. Damn it.
There are many moments like that, especially in the first day with Sarah Bond on the stand, where they tried to show her an email and a particular evidence, and they were like, exhibit 98A, and she was like, I don't see that. I think you need to get your paperwork together.
Damn.
And it was just like Sarah Bond was just up there throwing hands with the FTC lawyers.
She was not playing around. And honestly, Sarah Bond, I said it in the chat, once Phil Spencer is done, 'cause honestly, this is something that, I mean, it's sidetracked, but Phil Spencer has been in that position for a long ass time. He's been there. He just got
he just got a new position.
Well, all right. So I meant like in the head position, because he first he was head of Xbox.
Yes.
Then they made him head of Microsoft Gaming. I think in like
the
2018 or whatever.
Yeah.
But effectively, he's been at the top of Microsoft's gaming division for 9 years. That's longer than like any PlayStation executive who's head of PlayStation. They're in and out like within like 3 or 4 years. Like I think within the last like generation, we went through like what was his name? We had was it Andrew House, I think.
Oh yeah.
Then what was that other guy's name? I forgot the most recent one. damn, I'm blanking. Anyway, but they had one, and then it was Jim Ryan. And then they had one just before, like right when the PS4 launched, they had another one. So it's like they go through them like so quickly. Meanwhile, Xbox has the same one since the Xbox One launched. So it's just very interesting that he's been at that point for so long, and he's dealt with a lot. And I honestly say once he's ready to call it quits, that Sarah Bond is ripe and ready for the position, because she like executed everything. Like, she was very well spoken. She even made the judge was like laughing and joking around with her. Like, she's so super personable, and I feel like she would definitely be great for that role if or once Phil steps down.
Definitely, she definitely exerts that Xbox energy that she brings to the team. It's just it really sets the tone for the future. Because like you said, Phil's been around for a long time, but I guess that goes to show you how dedicated he is to not just Microsoft, but also to Xbox, their consumers, and just the business itself. We know he's a gamer, so I think his dedication to that shows in how he's structured Xbox gaming ecosystem.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully he doesn't go anywhere soon, because I still want him around.
Yes.
But at least I know that when he does decide to, that Xbox will be in good hands if it's Sarah Bond, at least.
Yes, exactly.
So I think we went over everything.
We have
all the big stuff about the FTC stuff. So I think on Tuesday, when this airs, well, that it's gonna be Satya Nadella, Bobby Kotick, and a vice president from Nintendo that's actually gonna be a witness. And I can't wait. I won't be able to listen to it. I mean, I might not be able to listen to it, but I can't wait to hear what comes out of that, because that's gonna be interesting. I'm really interested in what Bobby Kotick has to say. Because one thing we didn't mention, that Activision basically not blackmail, but they forced Xbox into paying more for Call of Duty to be on Xbox. Yeah, they changed because the normal revenue split, which that was actually not leaked, but it was given out by accident from the FTC lawyers.
The FTC,
the normal revenue split is 70-30. 70 to the publisher or developer, 30 for Microsoft. And the FTC lawyer let it slip that Activision made it. They forced Xbox into an 80-20 split, where Activision would get 80 and Microsoft get 20, just to have Call of Duty, because they were saying if you don't do this, then Call of Duty is going to be exclusive to PlayStation. And that was crazy.
Yeah, that's a big blow. And it goes to show you why they brought Activision itself.
Exactly. This is why, is because they're constantly put into positions where they're going to come out the loser. So there's just like, we cannot fight these deals. So let's just buy it, because we can't deal with these things anymore. And it's crazy.
Definitely. This whole FTC case has been a lot of information, a lot of revealing of the insides of the business. And we know we have this week coming from Tuesday to Friday.
They said so Tuesday. I don't know who's coming on Wednesday, but
me
Thursday.
Either. I know who Tuesday is, but I don't know what's gonna happen the rest of the week.
Yeah, I don't know about Wednesday. And Thursday they're gonna give their closing statements. But based on just these 2 days alone, I think the judge already knows what she's gonna do. And
whoa! We're not gonna make predictions. No judgments here. We don't want to jinx anything.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Jinx it.
I'm just saying. I think the rest of the days that are left is just formality at this point. But anyway,
honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen the next couple of days besides Tuesday. I don't know who else is coming to be, taking a stand. But
it feels like they have gone through all their like gotcha moments, and like I said, they fell flat. And honestly, like I said, the only time I felt like the FTC had something was the first day when they were talking about Matt Booty, but that's it. The rest of the day, like I feel like they just didn't know what they were doing, or they were just wildly unprepared. Just judging by how the judge was acting and how like fed up she was, I think I already know what's gonna happen. But I won't say it just because you don't want to jinx it or whatever.
I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it.
Hey.
Because we thought the same thing from the CMAs, and then
that was a different situation.
It is a different situation. I know it's the whole different layout of how they do things. I get it. You know, I just,
to be fair, it hasn't official, like they've announced that they want to block it. It hasn't officially been instated that it's gonna be blocked. So we'll wait to see how that plays out. But anyway,
for sure. I mean, the next couple days, and next time we hear us on the podcast, we're gonna have even more information.
We probably we'll know what happens and what the fate is of this acquisition next time we speak.
That's very so true. Crazy.
Woo! It's almost over.
Definitely.
But anyway, that'll do it for us, guys. I know I should have said this in the beginning. Like this video and subscribe, comment on what you think about the FTC and or just anything that we talked about, the Microsoft Nintendo Direct, just the Final Fantasy stuff. Comment. We will definitely respond. That's it. Any closing thought?
Good for me.
Tay?
No, I'm good.
All right. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Later.